Wow, that doesn't look right. Looks like somebody stuck some ice cream in my motor. I was looking through my oil fill viewer on the motor, which shows your oil level, and that was the color I was seeing. Coffee. So I knew that wasn't good. So I had to take it apart. And yeah, that is not good. But before I popped the oil seal, I saw this little straight thing just sticking out. I was wondering what it was, but then I noticed that it's a spring. So that's the little tensioner that gets put on the oil bearing seal, and that's what kind of snugs it up. So that must have snapped, and then that just basically opened up the floodgates. So gotta order a seal. Here's the other thing I've been working on and super happy I got fixed because it resolved a lot of issues. So my motorcycle, I bought it when it had 15,000 on it. I put on another 21,000, and the chain on it was maxed out when I bought it, and then I put another 20,000 miles on it with never adjusting it. But probably 6 months, even longer, I started getting rattling, sounding like valves or rocker arms were coming out of adjustment. Then I started getting some knock-in, like rods knock-in. So I was almost debating on whether to tear down the motor and kind of go through it, make sure all the adjustments were there. Maybe the internal chain was bad or something like that. But the chain itself was binding, it was rusty. I mean, it was barely staying on, to the point where I wasn't even driving the motorcycle. That's why I haven't been doing any night fishing, because I didn't want to drive it because I felt the chain was about ready to fall off. I could basically just pull the chain off just like that. And then I went ahead and bought a replacement chain just from an older, had 15,000 miles on it, so the guy was parting it out, but I got the original OEM sprockets and original OEM chain and put that all together, and all the noises went away. So the motorcycle's running perfectly now. Smooth, purrs like a kitten, drives with no noise. So that solved all that. Then this dude, I didn't have any windshield wipers, so I wasn't really comfortable going out in the rain, especially when I'm fishing at the nighttime and coming back with all these storms. So the arms on the windshield wipers on the motor, the trans arms, they're actually rusted through and snapped on one of them. So I ordered a used whole motor with all the arms on them. Got that in, and it was DOA. The motor was dead on it, so I was all pissed. But then I figured, oh well, I'll take the arms off the new one, put it on my old one. While I was doing that, it basically just, the whole pot metal brackets, everything just crumbled in my hands. So then I decided to take the motor off my old one and put it on the one I just bought that was DOA. Did that, and it worked, except then I had to put that arm back on. And then it uses little snap plastic connectors that snap on the arms, and they're only one-time reusable, so I couldn't reuse them. They wouldn't stay on, they would just fall off. So I thought I was screwed again, and the arms are like 50-60 bucks, so I was like, screw that. I'd have to reorder a whole new set. But then luckily at the parts store they sell these generic caps that you can just snap on, and those seem to be working. So I'm up to par there. Now I've just got to, my next project on this is, if you can see underneath there, all the gravel and stuff is oil soaked because the oil pan has been leaking for the last year because it rusted through. About 6 months ago I stripped all the paint off, all the rust off, and just did a whole coating of JB Weld on it, and that stopped it temporarily, but then now it's starting to leak again. So I've got a new oil pan, and then the whole exhaust, the whole suspension is rusted out, but the exhaust is, I've been patch repairing it. This muffler is only like maybe 4 or 5 months old, but it broke off at one of the joints there. I just haven't fixed it. I fixed a couple of the other ones, and I've been fixing it. I used about 6 soda cans cut and then wrapped, and I use radiator clamps on them. So I've got pretty much 6 different spots where I've patch fixed it, but I went ahead and since I was ordering that oil pan, I'm going to do the muffler at the same time. So that's that. And then now the motor for the kayak. But until I get those bushings in, I think what I'll do is take the Hobie off, put the Tarpon on, and just go paddle for a while until I get those oil seals in. Another big thing that I did was going through my reels. So my jigging reel, the Torium 16, I went through and rebuilt that one. The last jigging trip was kind of a fiasco because it was so gummed up that I couldn't drop the lure down fast enough. I had to hand pull it off because it was so gummed up from all the salt and corrosion. So I rebuilt that one. I rebuilt my Penn Conflict 6000, and rebuilt both of my Conflict 4000s, and I did one of my TLD 2-speeds, the 30A, the braid one, because that's the one I use the most, but then again I also don't use them very often, so that one was getting all gummed up. So all those are good and done. Oh yeah, I've also put all new braid on my jigging one. So that's all 65-pound braid, totally maxed out again, so I got plenty of room there. And I have done this one probably a month ago, but I've got 50-pound braid on the 6000. I did that right at the end of tarpon season when that braid started breaking. And I went through all my jigs and got them all painted and sparkly and got lots of hooks on them, so I have plenty and plenty of vertical jigs, as you can see. So I'm solid on the jigs. And did a guide repair on my Shimano Terramar. It just had a cracked ceramic. So got that all back in working order. Here's another problem. Corrosion takes another victim. My Hobie cart basically got rusted. So it broke the cross member. This wheel went 90 degrees, so I think this bar collapsed here. And they're both rusty, so I need to take to my buddy's shop and then see if we could put it back together again and weld it all. But yeah, another victim. And like that, we're back to paddlecraft. All ready to go. Just waiting for the rains to stop. And so that's what's been keeping me busy on these rainy days. As you can see, I got quite a few projects completed, and I still have enough projects to keep me busy for the next few rainy days. But I think tomorrow, regardless, I'm going to get out on the water, rain, storms, whatever, just to find somewhere to hide out, and I'll get some quality water time in. If you're interested in watching some videos, I've been posting a lot more on my Facebook, Key West Kayak Fishing. I'm doing a series right now called the Novice Fisherman's Guide to the Florida Keys. So it's just basically how-to videos, and I'm kind of building up that playlist there. As well as I'm doing kind of like these more tourist-related videos around Key West. So I'm going to be doing more of those as well. So I have been doing videos, just not posting so much on the YouTube as much. And then I also have been pumping in quite a bit of pictures and videos on my Instagram, Key West Kayak Fishing. So a lot of stuff there as well. So if you're bored and want to check out more stuff, check those out as well. But anyways, that is what I'm up to. And thanks for watching, and I will see you next video. Bye.